All right, welcome back. Do me a favor, if you're just coming in and you haven't hit the like button, let's get the likes up, guys. Let's get the likes up. Let's talk about Jude and Paul and Peter Okoye P Square. Let's talk about them real quick before we run through the rest of these stories. Hit the like button. Do me a favor. Let's get the likes up to at least 11 if it's not already up there. Let's get the likes up to at least 11. Yeah, we have 6 likes. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's get the likes up to 11. Can we do that right now? Let's get the likes up to at least 11 and then we'll continue. We want to talk about let's talk about Paul P Square, Paul Okoye, Jude Okoye. They're in the news. They're in the news, of course. Let's hit the like button. I got it up to 7. Let's get it up to 11, guys. Let's get the like, share. Let's do that. I told you guys I suck at doing this work. But if we're creating content, we gotta get the likes up, guys. We have to get the likes up. I got 8. Can we get that up to 11, guys? 11. We got 8. We got 8. 1 hour don't pass. I refuse. I'm not dropping the link. Let's get the link. Thank you, Jared Marriott. Thank you. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. I dropped the link. Come on, guys. We got 8 now. If you hit the like button as you come in, we'll get more people on the platform. Whoa, that's just a reality. And so we're just hitting like just now. 2 people just came in. That's the way it works. I mean, it's one of the ways it works. So let's get the likes up to 10. 10. Let's get it up to 10. Guys, there are 2 people watching and they didn't hit the like button. I don't understand. No be juju be that. No be juju be that. I've been a witchcraft. Which one are you?
No be juju be that.
You're watching and you don't hit the like button. That's witchcraft though. Come on, guys. We've got some other stories to cover. And I've got the 7 factors to consider if you're trying to know if people cheat or not. Yeah, it's witchcraft. So I'm going to leave those 2 people alone. Let's keep it moving. So Peter Paul Okoye, they've been in the courts again. Apparently, as of yesterday, they said they've been dragging each other because of royalty. We've covered their story here. But P Square is it's the biggest group ever out of Nigeria. Afrobeats, P Square. Now they do solo, that nice stuff. They do solo not just because they want to be solo. These are actual twin brothers. Okay. And they have an elder brother who was their manager, and there's been mishandling of money. And EFCC, the crime agency, Nigerian crime agency, is now investigating Jude for misappropriating their funds, their money, starting companies, hiding money away from one of them, which is Peter. The one with the low cut is Peter, and taking sides with Paul, the one with the long dreads, locks, the one with the locks, and stealing money away from him. So he's filed some cases, petition with EFCC, and he has some interesting things to say about, when it came out. So yesterday he testified against his family in court, and it's a sad thing to watch. To be honest with you, it's a very sad thing to watch. There's a lot of speculation that is the women in their life that had created this kind of thing. I beg to differ. Men must be men. First step first, you don't get to give some weirdo excuses as a man. Sorry. I won't take it. I don't accept it. I personally don't accept it. Who am I to not accept it? Just me. I don't accept such excuses from men. It's part of your responsibility to keep your house in order. What's the point of saying that? Because people in your life, your children, your wives, the women, your mother, some of them will create chaos sometimes. That's called life. Okay. So now for you to turn around and say that's the reason why you can't keep your house in order to the point that you're dragging each other in court. No. You have more work to do. Get back to work. So anyway, there were reports that he testified against his own family in court. So I'm reading this on Linda AKG blog official. It says alleged 1.38 billion naira fraud Peter Okoye testifies against his brother, Jude Okoye, in court. The EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, on Monday, April 14th, presented Peter Obumuneme, powerful name, huh? Okoye, as his first witness against Jude Chigozie Okoye, his elder brother and former manager of Paul and Peter Okoye, aka P Square, before Justice A. Oweye of the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos. At the resumption of the court proceedings on Monday, April 14, Peter, while being led in evidence by the prosecution counsel, Aso Laris Peter, said, and I quote, "The group P Square started sometime in 1997, but in 2017, those are like 20 years later, 20 years later, it was disbanded. We stayed apart for about 5 years. But in November 2021, the group came back. Before Jude became our manager, we had several managers, including Chioma Ugochi, who managed us when we were in the secondary school and in the university, and the late Bayo Odusami of Umbutu Music, who managed us for 5 years. Thereafter, my twin brother and I managed the band for a couple of months before we decided that he, Jude, would manage us and Northside Entertainment Limited. So we continued running our business, but we were always having issues about how he was running the business. The issues were mainly about the fact that he was the sole signatory to all our bank accounts in EcoBank, Zenith, and FCMB. These issues lasted for a couple of months. I didn't have access to the account until the current Minister of Aviation, Mr. Festus Keyamo, SAN, who was our lawyer, said we needed a sharing formula. While giving further evidence, he recalled an incident when the brothers were building their houses in Ikoyi, saying, and I quote, "The funding of the house project was by Northwest Entertainment Limited, but they just stopped financing my house for 6 months. The accounts were owned by the company, while Jude was the only signatory to all the accounts. At some, I approached him and my twin brother Paul to know why they stopped financing my project. But what I heard from them was, as you leave P Square, you leave the money." Oh, that is crazy. That's crazy. So basically, they were maltreating him, according to him, allegedly maltreating him with regards to the money. Okay, now Family Feud is a tough one. It's very hard to chime in because the people that claim to be the victim, they are the only one that know what they went through, right? Did I just read, as you leave P Square, you leave the money? Jesus Christ. That's so. Now, how can you guys allow Jude to be the sole signatory to the account? I think they were younger at the time too, and they thought, family was the issue, right? Let's see. I love it when people stand up for their right. Leave blood one side first and trash the issue fair and square. See, that's a stranger talking. A stranger will advise you to leave blood and first trash the issue. Unfortunately, that's part of the issue. As an eldest brother in the family, you've successfully disappointed your younger brothers. You were meant. Now, here's the issue. Paul is basically on the side of Jude. So it's not as simple as, it's basically his word against two other brothers. Okay. So, which I think is okay that they're in court, but I think it's sad at the same time. Again, two things can be true at the same time. So Peter came onto the internet, and of course, when these things go on like this, it's not always easy to it's not easy to just say, let me face my face and, you know, leave blood aside. You will always have the need to do what? To explain, because no evidence. So Peter came and to the internet to come and tell us that he said, don't let family be the reason you are drowning in silence. I did for over 20 years plus, and it almost cost me everything. But now I know better. Love doesn't manipulate. Loyalty doesn't betray. and family does not steal from you. Family that steals and breaks you isn't family at all. Real family doesn't drain you, shame you, discriminate against you, or ignore your pain. Eesh. That sounds deeper than this issue, to be honest with you. My sanity matters. My mental health is a priority. If it costs my mental health, then it's too expensive. I have to agree with that, I have to agree with that. So I love this internet, just waiting to see all the same people to switch once something else comes up. Crazy people everywhere. Family is not blood though, it's by loyalty. Just do you. No, I think the real answer is somewhere in between, because at the end of the day, Paul, who is also a twin brother, is not taking sides with him. He's just by himself against two other brothers. Now, did they mishandle money? I know for a fact that they mishandled money. I know for a fact that, I don't know for a fact, but my conviction is that Jude mishandled money, and they mishandled each other, they maltreated each other, and he's the victim because it's like 2 against 1. He definitely feels like they ganged up against him, which is right now why he's doing what he's doing. There's also, like I said, there's connection to their wives. I think at one point, they were being managed somewhat by the wife of Peter, so there might be marriage / in-law issues. So it's not as simple as just money, just trash family. It's not that simple. But the only thing I would advise Jude and Paul. My advice to Jude and Paul is to find a way to draw their brother closer, because this idea of the other person, and in reality, yes, she's probably playing the victim, but I would family is everything. I hate to bust social media and Jay-Z's bubbles. Family is everything. Just because you have dysfunction in your family does not mean you get to come and tell us that loyalty is family before family. That's you arguing with your destiny. The reality is that all families, every single family out there has a dysfunction in it that you don't want to be comparing yourself or your own family to theirs. You probably should, if you know what is going on in other people's family, you will feel blessed being inside of your own family. Okay, and that's something that a lot of people just don't understand. The reality is that the public, social media, they don't care. They still don't care. Okay, eventually at some point, you see what you're seeing, the pain you're going through right now, your emotions, their feelings, they're temporary, right? You're going to get to a space later on in life, you're going to crave your own personal sense of identity, which is usually attached to the family where you came from. Okay, that's the general rule. There are some exceptions. There are some people that will just lock it out and they say that's it. It is what it is. Okay, but for most people, for most of you watching me, don't play that game. Okay, find a way. Find a way. Do everything in your power. Okay, to understand your family, and just know that there's dysfunction in every family. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me drop the link so that you can feel free to come up. I particularly disagree. You can love family from afar. And now, absolutely, you can love. I agree with that. Remember, I said 2 things can be right can be true at the same time. Actually, more than 2 things can be true at the same time. You can love a family from afar, but if it's public like this, you are essentially trying to replace your family with social media. It can feel good in the short term. It can feel like a safe zone for a short term, but the public don't care. I hate to bust your bubbles like that. All right, so yeah, I'll take you when you come in, but let me move on to the story, to the other story. Hit like, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. Let's move on. It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough.